for the anticipated TEL video. I just wanted to bring this out to the weekly just to give you guys some perspective on where we're looking. A lot of people are looking too into the micro, in my opinion, to be able to see this chart come into fruition and why it is doing what it is doing. But as you can see right now, we have a kind of going on a broadening wedge pattern, and this is bullish. And this is going to see. I'm going to show you in a second exactly why these lines are the way they are. And I am on the weekly right now, just like I said, to bring it out the perspective. But I have Bitcoin kind of almost in the same setup, just in a different timing. But right now, you see TEL, it did just take off. And I do have the Bollinger Bands on here as well, the Stoch RSI, and we're going to go over why those are pertinent to what was going on. Right now, I just want to pull it out just to bring a little reality in as far as what this coin has done in the past as opposed to what it's doing right now, and why I did say that 0.012 was going to be a barrier. And I think right now you can kind of see why it is. It has the diagonal resistance right now, as well as a horizontal resistance that goes all the way back to 2021. And as you can see right now, there's a couple of touch points back in the 2021-22 period, which would make this some solid resistance right now. Now, this was a big move. I don't expect anything to go straight up, although I do know a lot of people that do. But if you just want to see the health on this, you can kind of see where the arc's starting to go and how this is all aligning, in my opinion. And that rounding is definitely what you're looking for. Now, on the weekly, what's interesting to me is how we're going to go in a little bit. Going a little bit deeper here. How this Bollinger Band's coming into play with some of the resistances and supports that we have already lined up. Now, this did get to of course, this huge squeeze, and you see where I have that circled right there. The funny thing about where I have that circled is that was circled maybe, I don't even know, a month, 2 months ago. And that's exactly where this liftoff started happening. And then again, we're on the weekly, so it seems so long ago. That was a couple months ago. But this has been riding that upper Bollinger Band for a while. It did come down to retest that short-term moving trend line, and that is what you're looking for in Bollinger Bands. You have the outward line, which is going somewhere like this. You have the inward line, which is the 20-day moving average, the short-term moving average, which is going something like this, right along with that diagonal trend line, isn't it? And then you have the bottom Bollinger Band, which is always coming up to try to at some point meet together with everything. Now, you saw that on the weekly, this started to get overextended. And what I wanted to show you right now is that I thought that this was going to pull back a little bit. I thought it was time to consolidate because it hit the 0.012, but also because this started getting on top of that outer Bollinger Band. And when it's coming down right now, it's starting to fail the retest. Now, what I'm going to do right now is go into the 4-hour. I'm going to go into the daily quick so I don't bring it in like total zoom on you, but I do want to show you what's kind of happening right now. And the same thing's happening with a daily. Now, typically when something makes a big move out of a Bollinger Band, you're looking for that to come back and touch the top of that Bollinger Band as support. It did at one point, but then it started hitting the resistances that we were talking about. Let me get this little squiggly out of the way here so we can clean the chart. But right now, what you're starting to see is a little bit of a bearish micro movement. Now, you can't expect this to go straight up. Like I said, this is in hitting a couple resistances right now. But again, in me, for Bollinger Band thesis, and this is definitely the way I play and trade a lot, this middle Bollinger Band 20-day moving average is going something like that. It's only a matter of time, and this is on the daily, till this figures out a way to come back here and touch that thing, right? And what you're looking for is that to hold support like it did right there. Now, that's actually in this last move what started was the catalyst of this big move, right? But at some point, you're wondering when it's going to come back to touch this Bollinger Band. And you'll see it again when I show you on the 4-hour, because I did tweet something about this a while ago. So all you're seeing is healthy moves here with TEL. There's nothing wrong with what's happening right now. It is just a matter of we do have to zoom out a little bit, realize there's going to be some resistances along the way. This was a bull flag breakout. I told you the measured move for that bull flag breakout was going to be to the 0.012 when you take the flagpole, right, and you add it to wherever the breakout was, and it just overextended about exactly where the breakout was, right? So you knew that this was going to exhaust at some point anyways. But again, this is on the daily. And what I do want to show you, and I don't think this is bearish at all. I always look for buy ops, especially in a bull market. But I think this 20-day moving average is going to continue something like this. And I think at some point, TEL's going to try to move up here, and it's going to probably come back down to retest this again. And at that point, you're looking to see if this retests or if it fails. Now, the way TEL's going, the way this awesome community is, the way the exposure it has on X right now, because everybody just saw this gigantic move and everything else was dumping. TEL totally showed relative strength. I'm going to go back out to the weekly really quick. And what I want to show you is the last time that TEL really bounced off of this 20-day moving average. I'm sorry, it'll get a little slopskis, but let me bring it all the way back to 2021 area. And right here is where you see this is really rechecking to see what that 20-day moving average does on the weekly, right? And you see where that is, right? So like I said, I always give fair unbiased TA, and I just want to let you know where you are. The last time this touched the 20-day moving average, after riding up the Bollinger Band, it took a while going sideways, but it launched, and you see what that did. Right now, I'm going to move this circle to where I think TEL is right now. I think it's somewhere around here. And I think it's going to wait a little bit of sideways action. Now let me bring it into just to kind of show you where we are. And again, we're on right now the weekly, and I'm trying to show you Bollinger Band analysis. And I'll get into the Stoch RSI in a second here, but I really want to show you what I think's happening and when it does happen. And let me draw what I think's happening. I think it's in this huge broadening wedge. I think it's exhausted a little bit, hit some resistances. I think that this is going to come down to retest some of these horizontal resistances, and I think this is going to go sideways, right? Sideways, sideways, sideways. It might even stair step. I don't know. But what I do think is at some point, this is going to stop and it's going to meet with the 20-day moving average, which happens to be right where this diagonal trend line is. And I think that is going to be the catalyst for the next move up for TEL. The way that I see it, and if you can see these squigglies over here, and I am trying to do this in like layman's terms, that last tweet got 600 likes, and it's like, holy cow, but I really am trying to make it so I think everybody can see the angle that this came down on, and I'm trying to make this make sense. This came down on an angle like this, and think of this like a ball or something, right? Until it hits a ramp. It started showing the rounding, and I think it's going to go out the same angle that it came in. I think this thing is just going to go like that, and then I think it's going to shoot off to the races. Let me get some of these squigglies out of the way. I know I'm overcomplicating it a little bit for some, but I do really want you to see not everything needs to go up to be considered bullish, straight up at least. And consolidation's awesome. There's a lot of people that missed this move, even though a lot of us said, dude, this is going to happen. But right now, to put it down in is about as easy layman terms as you can. I believe this is in this broadening wedge, and I think once this hits this 20-day moving average, which right now will go sideways till maybe June. It could, guys. It could, right? This could do two things. I think this could go here, hit this, and absolutely take off again, just like it did here, right? Or the other thing that TEL could do right now is just absolutely take off. I don't think that is because of the way Bitcoin is set up. And what I'm going to do right now is move over to Bitcoin really quick just to show you what I have drawn for Bitcoin. And this is on the weekly. And this has been my drawing on here for maybe like 3 months now, or 2 months now. Ever since it was way back here, I had this broadening wedge lined up, and I think this is just going to squiggly down here, and the same thing for TEL. It's going to bounce around 95,000, and then I really think Bitcoin's going to shoot up to try to hit the top of this broadening wedge. And I think it's all bullish, right? People think sideways action's bearish. Oh my God, the sky is falling. I don't think of it like that. I think it's a good time to consolidate, to accumulate, and I think it's waiting for its next little bump and run, reverse bump and run. So you see that's Bitcoin right there. Now let me pull it back to TEL and just let you see. See, there's a lot of room for this to go. right? So there's a lot more time left. And this is just using the Bollinger Bands in the horizontal diagonal trend line theory. If I threw right now into here the stock RSI, you're always looking at that 50, right? And what I'm seeing with the stock RSI at this point in time is it's come down, and this is going to do one of two things. It's looking for either the retest off that 50 to go higher, and at that point you would see TEL do something like this. You can tell a lot by that stock RSI, right? Or the stock RSI right now could be getting a little it rejected from that 50, and you'll know soon. You'll know soon, and it could be, and it kind of is right now. Could be right here off that 50 and start making its next move down, which at that point, TEL is going to kind of go sideways a little bit. Either way, I don't see TEL like dropping out of the sky. I see it going sideways between maybe 0.09 and 0.012, maybe a little bit higher than that. But that's what I see with this. And this is 3 different indicators that I'm trying to show you guys all on the weekly. What I really want all my TEL friends to do, really every one of you, I want you to get out of the hour, right? I want you to get out of the hour chart, the 15-minute chart. I want you to get out of all of that. You're not scalping TEL. You're just trying to see where it is. Right now is the same thing. I just brought it down to the 4-hour. You can see right now it failed that 20-day moving average, and this is one of the reasons why I think this is going to go sideways a little bit also. And this is to bring it to the 4-hour. This 20-day moving average is going to be doing something like this. These Bollinger Bands are going to close a little bit, and this is trying to pinch it, right? At one point, this is going to come back up here to retest to see if that 20-day moving average flipped to resistance or support. And at that point, it typically, once it gets below it, it rides it for a minute. Let me see if I can give you an example. Right now, it got below it back here, right? So it can get caught, and this could be another thing to make it go sideways. So this is on the 4-hour, but I just wanted to show you that this is how it is across the board. I really don't think that TEL is just going to blow right at this moment. But I do believe that TEL is going to blow. Now I really want to bring it out to the very macro and the whole reason behind my thesis and why I think what I think. This is that reverse rounding that we're talking about, right? And TEL's doing what a lot of these others are doing. Everything's following. You can see why these were resistance back or supports back in 2021, 2022. And it's just starting to hit its first part of that resistance down here at 0.012, and that's why I said I think that's where it's going to stall out for a second. This needs to stair-step its way, and it is, and I think it's healthy, and I think TEL, honestly, at some point, just like it did way back here before my lines like just stopped, but I think it's going to do what every other asset does in this pattern. It's going to take off just like a gigantic cup and handle. And where I really see this is it's going to be from the top of the cup, and we'll bring it down to the very base, and I'll bring it back and look, because there's going to be a handle over here at some point, and I'll draw it for you what I think is going to happen. And that way you can really, I think it's going to be somewhere around there. Okay. And I think this is going to end up being a big handle. And this is just speculation and just to have fun. And then this will consolidate once it hits before it goes to all-time high. I hope you all can kind of see where I'm going with this, right? And that is going to be around 12 cents. So I'm thinking at least this bull run, I think TEL can easily get to the 12-cent mark. And that's just adding with a company handle what I think is going to there. If fundamentals go the way they think they're going to go, and the TEL Bank opens, obviously this could blow. But going from what was a half a penny last week to 12 cents, I think we can all agree that's a score and a win for everybody in the TEL community. So I just don't want to go overly moon boy on that, but I do want to show you what my overall thesis is and what I think TEL's about to do for us. It's just going to take some time. And I think that as long as you understand these Bollinger Bands, like I'm trying to explain here, and the stock RSI, and the importance of this being above 50 to maintain bullishness, and that there are some serious horizontal and diagonal trend lines that show could actually really healthily blow. I think that's what's going to happen. So I just want to chill everybody out or anybody out once they see that this is going a little bit bearish, guys. This is going to just go sideways until it makes its next move up. This will end up, in my opinion, being another bull flag until it hits its next catalyst, which should be that 20-day moving average, and it's going to blow to its next move. My next move, I think it's going to go to around the 0.025 mark, the 0.035 is where I think this is really going to go in the next, I don't know, next few months. So that's just what I think, guys. Much love. If you need anything from me, I hope this was a layman's. Not that I'm trying to say I'm dumbing it down for the audience, but there's some people that do know TA and some people don't. What I do want to say is don't rely on just one indicator. Don't rely on just one trend line. Put them all together like I'm trying to show you, and I try to teach you so that, of course, you can do it on your own. But Bollinger Bands, you should pretty much be able to trade solidly just off of Bollinger Bands. So I think this is going to come back. This is going to produce some kind of a buy-up. And honestly, this could still go to 0.009, somewhere around there, and that wouldn't be horrible. That'd be a good buy-up. I would buy it if it hits there. And by the way, knowing this, that's exactly how I bought this wick here. Before this blew. I said I bought that wick, I bought the wick, and it went. So, I mean, it's just, you got to know where your lines are. Put them all together. If you guys have any questions after this, feel free to let me know. If you want me to dumb it down, less lines, squigglies, that's fine. I feel like the meteorologist here sometimes, but yeah, I think TEL's going to pull back a little bit in the short term, but if you're really looking at this in the long term, micro, I think that the sky is the limit. You're just waiting for this to come into fruition, and to go back to Bitcoin, I think you're waiting for Bitcoin just to hit this catalyst also, and it's in the same type of pattern. And what Bitcoin does here, I think you're going to see that's what TEL's going to do to you. All right, guys, much love. If you need anything, you let me know. I'm more than happy to help. TEL fam, you guys rock.